All right, hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another interview with the CID Small Business. Today, I have the honor of featuring Dimsumking with Michelle. Michelle, how you doing?
Hello, I'm doing pretty well, thank you, Henry.
Yes, and thank you for joining me on this interview. So, going right off the bat with Dimsumking, I know for the folks who don't know Dimsumking is a very special small business in the CID, and they recently opened, not too long ago, I think around 2012, serving up some of the best dim sum in the neighborhood. And my favorite part about it is its uniqueness and flexibility, where you don't have to order, a fixed amount of items per, dim sum order. Like you can get one of each, you could get, two of this and one of that, and it's really flexible for an individual's wallet. So, yes, Michelle, if you can talk about, why you feel like customers really come back to, support Dim Sum King.
Yeah, for sure. So we've been going around for almost 11 years now, 2009. I think you hit it right on the spot where it's really customizable. People can do it piece by piece. It's that takeout style, and that's kind of a lot of my dad just really also focusing on every piece of his dim sum. I know when I criticize him, he gets really sad. And I also think that a lot of people come back for my mom's personality. She's a very vocal, strong woman. If you've ever met her, she's very outgoing and just very happy all the time. And I think her being like the face, and then my dad being in the back end of it, making the dim sum, they're just an amazing duo. I'm just so proud of what they've accomplished. So.
Yeah, totally agree. And, ever since I started working in the neighborhood, I really admired the business model Dim Sum King follows. It's like a very close knit family business, and they treat their employees really, really well. Because I've been going ever since you guys opened, and I see the same employee up until now. So that's almost, like you said, 10 something years. And I think, after kind of learning more and more about how small businesses operate, it's all about, teamwork. And I feel like Dim Sum King really does a great job at showcasing great teamwork. And if you didn't know, I actually worked with Dim Sum King on a couple events. And in these events, we hosted for the neighborhoods for many like low-income seniors doing educational community meetings and activities. And Dim Sum King always hooks it up with a discount, or sometimes they even provide it for free. So shout out to Dim Sum King on that part. And the other thing I want to talk about, Michelle, with you is during this crisis in the COVID-19 stay-at-home order, do you know how Dim Sum King has really kind of worked around the situation in terms of the financial side of it?
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure on the loan they got, but I know that my parents' accountants helped them get one loan. We kind of shut down May 15th until May 10th, around 8 weeks. And we weren't working then. We just kind of were, the safety of our customers and our employees was top of mind. That was just the most important thing to us. And then we started planning how we were going to get back in. So we were looking at what other people were doing. We saw that Sheraton and Bellevue did this great thing where they had a plexiglass cough shield, and that's where we kind of got inspired to do the same thing. My uncles came through and also helped us build that for the restaurant. My mom kind of taped down like the little arrows and little what we've seen everywhere is people standing 6 foot apart. So just kind of prepping to come back and just starting really slow. We're just doing takeout, or of course, our style is takeout. It's very fast paced and everything like that. But now it's a little bit different where you just have a sheet of paper and you write down what you want rather than like saying it over and over just for safety precautions. So yeah, we just opened it back about 3 weeks ago, and everything has been rolling. A lot of people have been very supportive. Your dog.
Yeah, that's why not.
But yeah, everyone has been really supportive. Although my mom says that business isn't how it was pre-COVID, we're still doing fairly well. We opened back up on Mother's Day, and that day was very successful. Holidays usually are a bit better, but it's just slightly down because I understand everyone's still staying at home and wanting to keep being safe. So.
Well, it's great to hear that your family's really working around the situation to keep doors open and keep customers happy. And I know this makes a great transition to, where you come in. And recently I saw that you've been making a lot of efforts on promoting the business and showcasing the great, products you guys serve on social media platforms like Facebook and Instagram. Can you talk a little bit about what inspired you to start doing this? Looping back, after graduating from college, kind of looping back to where it all began with your business, your family's business. So what inspired you to do that?
For the social media, so I work in marketing, and for the longest time, I just felt like for my parents' customer base, they were more elderly, like grandmas and grandpas. They don't really have like Facebook and Instagram. A lot of them were just loyal customers as well that kind of knew who Dimsumking was. I didn't feel like I needed to reach out for more audience. But then I guess during this COVID situation, we noticed that, well, how are we going to update people that we're actually back? So I just felt like it was a good idea to get on Instagram. And a lot of the hefty work was just a lot of the customers were already tagging us. I think my parents have already built that relationship over. So it was easier for us in the beginning to get followers and for people to know that we have an account. There was just so many people hashtagging Dimsumking. I'm very thankful for that. It was a lot easier to find pictures and like repost. And then just the thing on Facebook was, I guess, because we had so many reviews, it built out its own page. So I can take no credit for the Facebook page. It was all of the customers giving us reviews. Thank you guys so much. So we have about like 250 already there before I even jumped on to Facebook. So yeah, that's kind of what happened. COVID was the reason that we kind of sparked it, because we realized even though we're not trying to like captivate a bunch of new audience, it's for the loyal customers that want to know what our hours changes. Maybe we're on vacation and just kind of things like that. I definitely want to give a shout out to Carol from the Purple Dot. She helps me a lot with social media. She reached out right away when she saw that I made that Dimsumking Instagram and was telling me like how I can get more interaction for people to see, our account. And just she's done such a amazing job with helping out and reaching out. It's really sweet. So yeah.
Definitely. And I like how you mentioned Carol on how from Purple Dot, on how she helped you with, how to activate your customer base on Instagram. Because one thing that she mentioned with my interview with her is putting a face to the business. And I feel like ever since you started, utilizing social media to kind of, showcase all the goodies Dimsumking has to offer, I feel like I'm starting to build a face to the business. And I feel like that's not only the case for me, but for also other people who really love Dimsumking. And I feel like when there's a face attached to the business, there's more meaning behind it. And I feel like customers really start to understand the story of, why, your family started Dimsumking, and, what do they want to gain from it? And like, what does it mean to serve the CID community in particular? So yeah, I just feel like when there's a face attached to the business, I just want to support it so much more. And I feel like clearly a lot of other people do, which if I saw that you've been posting a little bit on the CID Facebook group page, and you've been getting a lot of support. And yeah, I just got to say that, shout out to you, Michelle. You've been doing a great job, putting your family's business out there. And you're getting a lot of support from all the locals and, the newcomers. So it's great that you're doing that. The other thing I want to mention, give a shout out to you again, is recently during this COVID, time period, I've seen a lot of kids, a lot of, second generation, first generation kids coming back to support their family's business. And I feel like that's very inspirational, because when I talk to a lot of business owners, especially in the restaurant business, it's sort of like, oh, we don't want our kids to do the same thing we do because it's so much hard work, and we want them to be successful by going to school and like finding a new job in the office or something like that. But then kind of seeing what you've done with, given the current circumstances, you coming back to help out your family and all that is just really heartwarming. And, just want to give another shout out to you, of course.
Thank you, Henry. I mean, I can't take that much credit. I think two people that I've noticed have been doing an amazing job kind of as restaurant kids. And I mean, Eric is now the owner, so he doesn't count, but Jade Garden, he's done an amazing job. And especially, I like to copy what he's doing on social media. He's gained a lot of interactions. He has beautiful posts. His dim sum looks amazing as well. And then also like Carol, she's actually working there. So I think what they're doing is very inspirational. I can't say that I'm doing as much for my parents. I mean, it's the same sentiment where my parents are like, we want you to work in the office. And I do. That is what I do. I have a regular 9 to 5, but then, besides like filling up soy sauce cans, and I'm just going to tell you, the soy sauce little cups that people buy, you have to fill like up one by one. It takes a little bit of time, but that's really all I do. I can't take too much effort in comparison what some of the other kids of, restaurant owners are doing. So
I see,
thank you though.
definitely. So, maybe you could talk about like what you've been doing since you mentioned that you're back in Seattle now. What have you been doing in the restaurant to sort of help out? Like you mentioned a little bit about filling up the soy sauce cans. Are there other things you've been doing, like wrapping up some dim sum, some dumplings? Have you?
To be honest, no. I've tried my hand on the custard. What is that called? Don Tot.
Egg tart.
Yeah, I've tried to make that before, but I just don't have my dad's gifted hands. I can't fold the crust right. It's difficult. And I also tried to make hagao before, and it's really thin and delicate. So I can't do any of that. I would say I don't do as much as you're giving me credit for.
Well, it's everything counts. It's all about the effort. I guess trying to just wrap up this interview is, Michelle, is there any last thing you'd like to share with the viewers we have today?
Yeah, I guess I do want to speak a little bit on what happened to Dimsumking recently. We did get vandalized, but we were very fortunate that the extent of the damage was just broken windows and our display case. It wasn't that bad. This was the first post I've posted in a long time. I reactivated my Facebook just for Dimsumking's page. That's why I have a Facebook now, but unfortunately, that was the first post, which was just telling everybody we were closed because we got vandalized. But I want people to understand we weren't angry about it. We're not angry at the protesters. We're not angry at the world. We are very much for everything that's happening in the movement. We care about Black Lives Matter. We understand that the people that were vandalizing and attacking weren't trying, or they weren't people that were similar to the protesters. They weren't trying to send that message. But then also just with the flood of support and encouragement, everybody in that group telling us that, we can do it. We love Dim Sum King. You guys are the best. I miss Amy, which is my mom, and just saying her name really warmed my heart. And it really made her feel good. I read everyone's comments to her and she was just really excited. Just it really warms my heart that there's people that care so much about my parents in this community and how they've just built their life in Seattle. Because of course they are immigrants and they came here and just tried their best to build a life. And it just amazes me how warm this community is. So I just want to give a big shout out. Thank you to everybody. So
That's great. And it's just really nice to hear that. I feel like Dim Sum King is really an essential business, essential part of the CID community, but also to Seattle as a whole. And I wish Dim Sum King the best. Michelle, I wish you the best. Good health, good luck to the business, and I hope everybody who doesn't know about Dim Sum King really starts to check out their Facebook page, check out their Yelp. They have some really tasty dim sum. I'm telling you right now. Check them out. Get you a whole bunch and be happy about it. All right, Michelle. I'll see you next time. See you later.
see you.